The world stands on the edge of a new confrontation. Not Ukraine, not the Middle East, nor even Taiwan. A different race is emerging. Trump seeks to reclaim bases in Afghanistan, while Putin answers, "If you return, we will return too." But to Vietnam, sleeping bases across Asia suddenly becoming keys that could ignite a new global conflict. If Putin secured Cam Ranh and Trump reestablishes Bagram, the story changes. This is the tale of old bases turned into fuel for a possible Third World War. Its chapters are being written now, in silence. Ambitions of dominance. In the arenas of global influence, a quiet contest unfolds between great powers to regain or secure strategic bases. Like a chess match without open wars, each side sends messages through policies, statements, and carefully distributed military moves. Trump announces negotiations with Afghanistan to reclaim Bagram Airbase, left by the United States in 2021, calling abandonment a grave mistake. The declaration was a political bomb that sparked debate about a renewed American military presence in the heart of Central Asia. Moscow, meanwhile, eyes an old opportunity. Cam Ranh in Vietnam, a former Soviet naval hub. Some reports warn that Putin seeks to rehabilitate Cam Ranh as a Russian maritime platform to extend reach across Asia and the Pacific. Vietnamese authorities repeatedly assert they reject any permanent foreign military presence on their soil. Yet the increased frequency of Russian warship visits and logistical maneuvers suggest Moscow is testing the waters. Trump's aim is not only to recover Bagram, but to signal to China that the United States will hold strategic cards in Central Asia. Bagram offers long runways and heavy aircraft support facilities, valuable for drones, transporters, and large-scale operations. Recovering it carries military and symbolic weight, a return of American influence after the 2021 withdrawal. But reclaiming the base faces Taliban resistance, who view any foreign presence as an affront to Afghan sovereignty. China may also oppose a robust U.S. re-entry, seeing Central Asian influence as within its strategic sphere. Trump and Putin's moves coincide with wider deployments. Tanker aircraft and refueling vessels are being positioned across the Middle East and Asia as part of strategic posturing. The race for bases is an attempt to restore old influence and rewrite the global military map. It is not simply a dispute about installations. It's a struggle over strategic approaches between East and West. In this silent contest, sparks could fly. Not with open artillery, but with aircraft and submarines maneuvering along key sea lanes. Cam Ranh Bay lies on Vietnam's southern coast and is among the deepest natural harbors in the region. Its depth makes it ideal for aircraft carriers and large naval vessels without extensive dredging. Overlooking strategic sea routes linking the South China Sea to the Indian Ocean, control over Cam Ranh allows a nation to monitor or disrupt maritime traffic in those national corridors. From Cam Ranh, one can deploy submarines and surface-launched naval missiles capable of threatening transiting vessels, and conduct naval operations across nearby seas. Vietnam hosts Kilo-class submarines with Russian technical support, a real deterrent in Southeast Asian waters, increasing the value of Cam Ranh as a maritime spearhead. The base also features logistics facilities, maintenance docks, fuel reservoirs, and weapons storage. During the Soviet era, Moscow used Cam Ranh as its largest overseas naval base, a launch platform into the Indian and Pacific Oceans. The Soviets built docks, support vessels, patrol infrastructure, and positioned submarines armed with missiles, making it a forward logistical hub. After the early 2000s, Vietnam declared the base for national use only and formally rejected permanent foreign military presence, adopting what officials call a triple no. No foreign bases, no military alliances, and no use of territory against third states. Still, the port remains open to scheduled visits by foreign warships, allowing for military presence without permanent control. The United States benefited from Cam Ranh in past decades, and today both Washington and Moscow test influence through naval visits. Vietnam, cautious about ceding sovereignty, resist permanent return to foreign dominance, though port calls and logistical cooperation continue under strict regulation. Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan was for years the hub of American operations across Central Asia. Its runways hosted heavy-lift aircraft, helicopters, and drones. Following the U.S. withdrawal in 2021, Bagram fell under Taliban control and became part of Afghan sovereignty territory. Trump's talk of regaining Bagram is a strategic move to reassert American presence. Located near strategic borders, Bagram offers advantages for surveillance, intelligence collection, and rapid force projection. But reclaiming it faces strong Taliban opposition and regional resistance, especially for Pakistan and China, who view an American return as a shift in the geostrategic balance. Moreover, the infrastructure and roads leading to Bagram suffered significant damage during years of conflict. Rehabilitating the base would cost billions and require complex political and security agreements with Afghanistan's authorities. Even a partial return would likely position Bagram as a lightweight logistical hub rather than a full-scale restoration. Analysts argue that Bagram's revival would serve dual purposes, re-establishing American leverage in Central Asia and providing a pressure card against China. But any attempt to press the Taliban into ceding control will encounter fierce local opposition and could ignite wider regional tension. The symbolic talk of Bagram already forces neighboring states to recalculate their strategic equations. The scramble between the United States and Russia for strategic footholds may spill beyond diplomatic posturing into real confrontations. A helicopter dispatched to Kamran or Bagram without coordination could be interpreted as a breach and spark retaliation. Bases are not merely targets, they are launch points for reconnaissance, strikes, logistics, and force buildup. A clash could erupt not by interstate missile exchanges, but through interceptions, naval maneuvers, or localized engagement. Across the Middle East, U.S. deployments of strike and refueling aircraft send messages that rapid force projection remains possible. Russia, by contrast, leverages maritime activity near Asia and the Pacific to fortify its stance against rising American influence. Modern warfare is not limited to tanks. It is about airspace control, electronic dominance, and information warfare. The risk of open collision is high. China, India, and Iran could be drawn in as mediators or as direct participants, tilting the conflict into a wider contest. If Bagram and Kamran become active fronts, symmetrical theaters could open on both eastern and western flanks, resembling a new Cold War. Only now fought with advanced technology, cyber tools, and diplomatic maneuvering. As analysts warn, the coming conflict may begin with control over bases rather than the first missile launch. The global contest for bases is more than nostalgia for bygone empires. It is an attempt to reclaim the strategic leverage of influence that shape military reach and political leverage. Whoever controls the bases control the rhythm of operations, the flow of intelligence, and the capacity to surge forces quickly. For the moment, these moves are strategic messaging. But history shows how small incidents multiply. A misstep, an understood overflight, or a denied harbor call can escalate. The world watches. The chessboard is being set again, and in this quiet buildup, the spark for a wider conflict may already be smoldering.